everybody! Welcome to Furry Friday. Sorry we're a little bit late.
On brand for us.
Very on brand.
On brand.
Unfortunately, Fridays are always a little bit busier and pretty chaotic, and so that's been our day. A bit chaotic. I think we said that yesterday. Is every day chaotic?
Every day with us is chaotic. Let's be serious.
Pure chaos. Almost forgot my stuff.
Did you activate the quiz?
I did.
Oh, thank God.
The quiz is activated. TikTok, don't remind me again. There we go.
Just hating on TikTok.
Right? Oh my gosh, TikTok gives me so much trouble. Well, welcome to Furry Friday. It is day 5 of our Hop University. So, won't be a normal Furry Friday today. It'll be the last day of Hop University. We're going to go into beyond boosting the bowl now. So we're super excited to share all of the ways that we boost our pet's bowl, how you can boost your pet's bowl, what boosting means, and what each kind of ingredient, I guess, does for your pup and why we would recommend it. Last week we did a supplement live, or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember.
Sure.
Last week or two weeks ago we did a supplement live and we talked all about.
Oh yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. Wow, time isn't a thing.
Yes, we stood in front of the supplement wall and talked about supplements.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes. So we talked all about supplements, about like what we would recommend just for everyday maintenance. So we're going to kind of go over similar things today, but also some new stuff. So stay tuned for that.
And just fun stuff. Just fun stuff that we can put in the bowl
To make our pets like really enjoy mealtime.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a recap of the week, if you're just tuning in for a regular Furry Friday, the last 4 days we've been live at 2-ish every day, doing our 5-day Hop University course, all about kibble. Day 1 we talked about what kibble is, what the heck are we talking about. Day 2 we talked about the different choices. Day 3 we went into how to read a food label, and I had a note for myself that I did forget to mention why it's important to have a labeled meat ingredient and not something that says animal or meat. We want to have that label. We want to know it's chicken. We want to know it's lamb. And we also don't want it to be a byproduct. So we kind of talked about that in how to grade the kibble. But the reason we don't want mystery meats, basically, in our pet's food is because we can't know what it is. Legally, you're able to put in they're able to put in pet food 4D meats, which means dead, diseased, dying, and disabled. All of these categories of meat, unfit for the human food industry, gets put into the vat of pet food and gets put into your kibble. So when we're thinking of, oh, it says animal meat, so it's got to be meat. Well, what animal? Was that animal diseased, dying, or disabled? Were they unfit for the human food industry? Why would we feed our pets something that we wouldn't consider eligible for us to eat? So anything with animal or byproducts, they also have like supermarket meats they'll put into pet food. So stuff that's expired for us, cellophane and plastic and all, into the grinder it goes, and that can also be in our pet food just under animal meat or animal byproduct or meal. So we want to be informed. Mm-hmm. We want to make informed decisions. And if we don't know the ingredient, we're not informed. So we want to make sure, I forgot to stress on Wednesday that's why we always are talking about a whole food or a whole animal, lamb or lamb bone or lamb organs. You know, we want to know what it's in the bag.
Yep.
If you're not transparent, what are you hiding, basically? Mm-hmm. So that's what I wanted to make sure I touched on. Hint, hint, because I saw it in the quiz. And then yesterday, we talked about, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. Transitioning. We talked about transitioning your pet
That's what we
food.
talked about. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Yeah, you can tell that it was chaotic yesterday and it's been chaotic today. Everything is a total blur.
But we're here.
We are here. Fingers crossed, everything will turn out fine. When we talked about transitioning yesterday, if you went through the last 3 days and you thought, oh my goodness, I want to feed a better kibble, or I've been thinking about transitioning, but I'm scared to do it. That's a super kind of intimidating process. Yesterday we went through our tips for transitioning, what we generally recommend for people who want to transition to a new food, and all 4 of those days are on YouTube already. So they're on our YouTube channel under Hop University playlist, so you can watch if you don't want to start today, because I will be going through our final exam. So if you don't want to go through that just yet and you want to do the other 4 days first, you can totally go on our YouTube channel and watch those. And then tonight we'll have this last one uploaded to YouTube as well. So you won't miss anything. If you have to step out, this will be uploaded to YouTube. So don't worry, you won't miss any of the important information. But yeah, today, boosting your bowl. We were saying that we're pretty good candidates for doing the live today because we're mad scientists.
We're the mad scientists. We put all of the stuff and things in the bowl.
Yep.
So we're good people to talk about this.
Yes. Yes. If you've ever seen any of our pets' Instagrams or that have been shared on the House of Paws Instagram, you'll know that there is just stuff in the bowl. It is full of things and goodies, and I mean, we're over the top, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's a compliment.
I think it is too.
I think it's a compliment.
I would say we're above average.
Ooh, we're above average. I do like that. We are above average, and you can be too by adding in some of these boosters. In the Hop workbook,
I thought of, you keep on talking, I thought of something that would be good to show.
Okay, Bailey's thinking on the fly. I like it. While we wait for Bailey, I forgot to mention about the workbook. So you can get the workbook online on our Hop University Beyond the Bag Kibble Masterclass product. So there's a link there that you can get the workbook. Today we'll be working through the day 5 sheet. So it's going to go, you can write down some of the things that we talk about on how to boost your bowl, a little template here, and then we'll be seeing like how you went, how you think your knowledge is now that you've gone through Hop U. I've also activated the final exam, so you can get your final exam and work through it with us at the end today. And that is also available for download now because I had to keep it secret until the last day, obviously. Very good idea. I see what Bailey has grabbed. But it's a secret because first we're talking about hydration. So yesterday we talked about hydration as like goat milk or bone broth as a way to transition our pets. Today, it's a great way to boost the bowl.
It sure is.
Bone broth, great for bones and joints, helps the liver do its job of detoxifying things, which helps with those tear stains in the corner of the eye. Also really good digestive aid. And for our kitty parents out there who know that our cats suck at drinking water, it's a flavorful way to add in their daily moisture.
Yep, and then we've got the goat's milk.
Goat's milk, yep.
Great tummy tamer. Wow, I am like just drawing such blanks in the middle of sentences today. Oh my gosh.
Great source of pre and probiotics,
Yes.
which are always awesome to add in. In our supplement live, we talked all about you can't go wrong with a pre and probiotic. I mean, they say we should be eating pre and probiotics. We should be always keeping that gut microbiome full of that good bacteria. So adding in a goat milk is an awesome way to add in just some pre and probiotics into the diet. Again, also a moisture option too. So
yes, what I was going to say is a fermented goat's milk is also great if we have yeast issues, if we have ear infections, we have those stinky Cheeto paws.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just have to be the hydration to add just so that we're getting extra hydration. It can be stuff that's just overall going to help them.
yeah, definitely. So I had that as the first one, and then my second one was omegas 3s and 6s in the form of fish oil or whole fish. One second here. There we are. Okay, so sardines, whole fish, fish oil, whole salmon, all of those lovely things are an awesome way to boost the bowl. We say any raw is better than no raw. So a raw whole fish is an awesome addition to the bowl. 20% of your pet's meal can be whole fresh foods. As long as the 80% of their daily diet is a balanced, complete meal, like a grade A kibble, that other 20% can be these add-ons, can be whole fresh foods. Like my kitty loves sardines, absolutely freaking loves sardines. And
I've got my goodies.
fruits and veggies, also an awesome add-in. Bailey's going to show you the card. It'll be backwards, but pictures are pictures. So hopefully you can tell what some of these photos are. These are magnets that we give out in store. So if you are in Regina, Saskatchewan and you stop by the store,
My arm is just like in the middle of the TikTok one.
We've got these magnets that we give out, and they show all of the really great fresh options that can comprise that 20% fresh meal. So things like sardines or whole salmon. I always give Alex a sardine every once in a while. Of course, the sardines tend to be pretty big, especially the ones that we sell. They end up being, I don't know, like 6 to 8 inches long. Like they're massive, and they're like 100 and some calories per sardine, which is half of Alex's caloric intake for the day. So if I'm giving a sardine, I'm keeping in mind that it is quite calorie dense. If you've got, my cat is about 10 pounds, so if you have a 10-pound dog, or you're someone like Zaner, who's a little 5-pound Yorkie, probably a whole sardine is a lot of food for a tiny little pup. But if you're someone like Tucker, who is well over the 50-pound mark,
75 pounds.
75 pounds, probably could do a whole sardine and not really bat an eye, not really have a big deal about it. But that's always a great add-in. Some of the fruits and veggies that were awesome add-ins. What do you kind of add? I don't add very many fruits and veggies to my kitty's dish unless it's like pumpkin for fiber. But what kind of fruits and veg do you add?
We do a lot of like strawberries, blueberries, banana. The boys love broccoli.
They like broccoli.
They like broccoli.
Oh my gosh, that's surprising.
Cucumber. We do peas sometimes. That's really it for vegetables. That's
For
sort of
veggies and fruit.
They like carrots.
Yep.
Tucker eats them too fast though, and then he throws up.
wasn't the story yesterday?
Very
Tucker
on-
threw up yesterday too.
Very on brand for Tucker.
Oh,
Tucker's very, very on brand for him. But we put in a lot of fruits and vegetables. It's just stuff that's super good for them. It's stuff that if I'm cooking it for dinner or if I'm chopping it up for breakfast, it's something that's super easy to throw into the bowl.
Yeah.
And Charlie likes to be able to throw the fruits and vegetables into the bowl. It is her job is the assistant to throw the fresh food into the
I feel like she's got to be a really good assistant. When Charlie comes into the store, she's my amazing assistant.
She grunts a lot when she's here.
Yeah.
Everything is really hard work.
Yes.
When
Very
you're
hard
two.
work.
When you're two, everything's really hard work.
Yeah. So yeah, fruits like the berries is an awesome source of antioxidants. Really great for the immune system, great for the organs like the eyes. Keeping the body full of antioxidants is super important, and adding in berries is a great way to do that. Veggies are full of fiber, especially things like pumpkin, like I use, or carrots. They're also really low-calorie toppers. So if you have a dog who's maybe you're cutting down on the calories a little bit, but they're kind of like, I'm used to a heaping bowl of food, and now you're giving me a half a bowl of food, we can add in things like cucumber and apparently broccoli to the top of the food dish to add some volume and some crunch and some fun to maybe a meal that your pet's kind of like, where's the rest of this? Where's the rest of this? So yeah, those are awesome add-ins.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, you're going out to the grocery store and buying like fresh blueberries and fresh strawberries. We use frozen. The dogs love that it's frozen, especially during the summer when it's super hot outside. So if it's a better bang for your buck to be going and getting just frozen fruits and vegetables, you can 100% be using those as well.
Yeah, that would make a really great hot day topper. Top the food with some frozen berries or some frozen veggies, and you've got kind of like a nice little summer cool down.
Yeah, exactly.
I always go for a popsicle when it's really hot out, so I can imagine the pets probably would love a frozen treat.
Yeah.
Which you can add into, I put my goat milk and so if you want to like mix stuff together, I put goat milk and veggies and fruits in like a blended mix and then freeze those in ice cube trays or molds, and then I add that to the meal, especially with 2 little cats, a big bottle of goat milk. that I can't go through that in the amount of time before it goes bad, so I freeze it and then I bring it out in like individual servings on top of their food. So that's a really easy, like a more convenient way, especially if you're like, I have a 5-pound Yorkie, I will never go through that goat milk bottle.
I can't commit to this.
I can't do it, and I'm giving half a blueberry to my little Yorkie. I think Zane gets like, if you've seen the Instagram posts of him getting like peppers and cucumbers, it's like the tiniest little bit. His little bowl's so small.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. So if you've seen those, you can definitely use some of Zayner's bowls as inspiration for your boosting, because Zayner's getting all the goods these days with fruits and veggies and stuff. What else did I have other than fruits and veggies? I had mushrooms on the list, which, I mean, it's a vegetable, but it's also one that I wanted to highlight.
Because you're obsessed with mushrooms.
Because I'm obsessed with mushrooms. We have mushroom supplements, powders and stuff, which is also awesome to add in for immunity. Specific mushrooms like turkey tail are great for preventing and maintaining not maintaining cancer, but preventing cancer and stopping the progression, I guess is what I'm trying to say, of cancer. And fresh whole mushrooms we can add to the pet's diet, which could be shiitake or regular white cremini or, white button or brown cremini mushrooms. Any mushroom that you can buy at the store that you would eat, we can give in our pet's bowl as an addition. So I always like to highlight mushroom, both because I'm obsessed,
and because they're good for your pet.
and because they're awesome for your pets. Especially if you're like, I don't know, I don't really have a lot of like fresh veggies in my fridge, but typically mushrooms last a really long time.
They really do.
So having to buy like a container or whatever of mushrooms, probably gonna last you a while, as opposed to getting a cucumber, which I find cucumbers last like 2 seconds in my fridge.
In the fridge, I know.
Why do cucumbers last like no time? And then I open up the fridge the next day and I'm like,
It's bad.
how is it moldy? What happened to my cucumber?
We are growing cucumbers in our garden.
Oh, yes.
And the dogs are obsessed with them. Tucker tried to eat one right off of the
Oh,
the
really?
plant. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Tucker's kind of a fiend. I believe that.
Tucker's hungry all of the time. 24/7, food is on Tucker's mind. It's all he thinks about, it's all he wants.
Yeah. Poor Tucker. Well, if you guys have a garden at home, that's an awesome point. That things straight out of your, not even right out of your fridge, things just out of your garden can be added into the bowl. Super quick, super easy. You're already making it for yourself, so you can hand it over to the pets too.
Yep.
I had raw food or gently cooked. So any raw is better than no raw. Raw is a great source of hydration, as it is mostly moisture. It's high in protein. It's got bone and organ in it. Bone is great for the teeth. Organ is great for their organs, gives all those essential nutrients. So if we're topping with raw, we sell like smaller packages of it, so it doesn't have to be the whole meal. But adding it on top is always awesome. We've got lots of people who come in, buy a little box of raw and a big bag of kibble and add that in as like a fun like addition to the bowl. Same with gently cooked, which isn't fully raw. It's been partially cooked, sous vide in like the plastic that is, my goodness, today, holy cow, sorry you guys. In the plastic, it's sous vide, which means it's cooked in water at a low temperature. So it retains all of that nice moisture and flavor, but kind of changes the texture a little bit. So if you have a pup who's kind of like, I don't know about the raw texture yet, the gently cooked has more of like a canned food or a stew consistency as opposed to a raw consistency. So that's always a really great add-on. Again, it can be in like ice cube trays and just add it on top. Can be a dollop, could be half of the meal. Because, well, if you're feeding a balanced raw, it can make up more than 20%. The raw that we have in store is a complete and balanced meal. We're seeing there's a dog coming in the store.
Yes, sorry, that's what I'm looking at.
Sorry, we're
There's
super,
a puppy.
yeah, we're very distracted at this moment. I'm going to take this time just to make sure, making sure I didn't miss any comments here.
I'm so excited. I know.
So, raw, really great option, or gently cooked if we're not sure about
How's it going?
fully raw. We can go with like a gently cooked. Primal has a gently cooked, which we have in store for both dogs and cats. So you can use any of those. My other point is supplements. So just blanket supplements. We do a lot of lives on like specific supplements or specific ailments. We just opened up a section on our website for supplements. So if you go on our website and you're looking for dog, click in the dog drop down, you'll see supplements, and then it's in kind of like categories for maybe what we're trying to target. So when we talked, I guess that was 2 weeks ago, Bailey said, we had our supplement day for maintenance. If we're just doing maintenance, adding in a pre and probiotic supplement is awesome. Adding in a joint supplement is great. Adding in some sort of omega like fish oil or whole sardines like we were talking about is awesome. Even because it is springtime and I have seasonal allergies, our pets have seasonal allergies, adding in something to kind of help the immune system a little bit, like milk thistle or Canadian bee pollen, is also awesome to add kind of seasonally. For Regina, Saskatchewan, seasonally means summer or spring and fall. That's when we have the most changes in temperature and changes in things. 1 second here. Perfect. So when we add in supplements, we can be targeting something, we can just be using it for maintenance. What do you think of colostrum for allergies in dogs and cats? That is an awesome add-in. That's amazing add-in. We have different forms of colostrum. We've got bovine colostrum in store. It's the first milk of, in this case, the cow, bovine. The first milk, which has all of the immunity of the mom in the milk that's being given to the baby. So that's a really great way to boost immunity. It wouldn't necessarily help with current allergies, but it would help boost the immune system over time to combat or to prevent further allergies in the future. So that is a really awesome addition into the diet, especially in spring and fall here when we're getting major changes in temperature, when there's snow mold in the spring and there's dust and leaves and pollen in the fall. So that's an awesome addition. Even mushrooms is great for immunity too, so adding in mushrooms can help with immunity. But supplements can be preventative in the sense that we can add in pre and probiotics whenever. We can do some joint things, even if we don't have joint issues. We can always be adding things like green lip mussel into the diet. Bone broth has a lot of chondroitin, I believe is what it's called, in it, which helps with bones and joints and cartilage, and making sure that we're both assisting the body in maintaining that and also preventing the degradation of cartilage and things like that. So those are really awesome additions. We talked about breed-specific foods a couple of days ago. I think that was 2 days ago. We talked about breed-specific and size-specific and age-specific foods. In terms of food, there typically isn't a very big difference in the formulas. It's all kind of marketing. But in supplement sense, if we have a puppy, maybe we add in some extra fat. If we have a senior, maybe we're supplementing and boosting that bowl with extra bone and joint support or extra antioxidant to help keep the brain and the eyes and all the organs working optimally. I know Bailey was saying that her golden retriever Sam, who's quite a bit older now, is getting some eye issues, and that golden retrievers tend to be kind of predisposed to eye and sight issues as they get older, and so she's adding in lots of antioxidants. Like she has fresh berries. She also has some antioxidant supplements, which are like powdered berry extracts, which are just the antioxidant in powder form, which is also an awesome option. And then breed specific. So our coworker Nicole has a dash hound, and dash hounds are known for spinal injuries and issues because of how long their spines are. So she's adding in things like jump for joints and raw meaty bones, things that are going to help support the bones and joints. Even though he's very little, he's still a pupper, she's still adding in those things, which is awesome. Because she knows about the breed and about those predispositions, we can start adding in and boosting the bowl to fit our specific puppy or kitty. I add in bladder supports, not whole cranberries, but you can get whole cranberries if your pet will eat them. I give up cranberries cranberry powder and a bladder support powder into their food, and I'm making sure I'm adding in bone broth and goat's milk to keep them hydrated, because kitties are predisposed to kidney and bladder and UTI issues. I talk all the time about how bad they are at drinking water. That is what kind of adds to those issues. They don't drink water, they get crystals built up, and then they start to have issues. So they're very little, they're 2 and 1 year olds. So I don't have to worry about issues right now, but I'm preventing issues in the future and boosting the bowl in accordance with their specific unique needs. So same with you guys. You can be going through what we did previously. We talked about in the workbook things like I believe we had what is my pet nutrition goals on day 2 of the workbook. Talk about what are your goals for pet nutrition. Do you have a puppy or a kitten, an adult or a senior? Kind of a journal of what your personal puppy or kitty's situation, life stage, all of those things is. So when we're boosting the bowl, we're boosting it accordingly. I also give whole chicken hearts and duck gizzards and quail eggs to my kitties. Those are fresh whole foods. Again, can be 20% of the bowl that we can give to our furry guys, which are awesome ways to boost the bowl. Quail eggs, chicken eggs, and duck eggs are awesome. The inner membrane of the egg is amazing, a superfood source of nutrients for our pets. Quail eggs you can feed a whole quail egg to like a small pet. A chicken egg is like a good size for a medium-sized pet, and then a duck egg is a good size for an extra large pet. Again, based on calorie content, like I said with the sardines, an entire sardine for an XL dog, probably good to go. A whole sardine for a tiny little 5-pounder, probably a little bit much. So adding in things accordingly to our pet size is also important. But yeah, those are really great additions. If anybody does any additions right now and wants to share kind of how they boost their bowl, you can definitely do that in the comments down below and see kind of what do you do, what do you add into your pet's bowl to boost it. But yeah, for me, my kitties get pumpkin, they get quail eggs and sardines, they also get chicken necks. So adding in, boosting the bowl with raw meaty bones is also amazing. Raw meaty bones are amazing for their teeth. It is nature's toothbrush. As they go through it, they can't break it down, so it rubs and they get to kind of do that brushing motion against their teeth. My one kitty, Ezzy, loves chicken necks and hates sardines, so she gets chicken necks, and my other kitty doesn't like chicken necks, but he likes sardines. So they get 2 different things because they're 2 different pets. Make that bowl work for your pet. Maybe they love fish and we can do sardines. Maybe they hate fish and we've got to add in a fish oil and hide it in their food instead. That's totally okay. Boosting the bowl isn't just about health, it's also about enjoyment. We want to give them the enjoyment of their meal. It's not the same thing every single day. They get new things, they get fresh things, they get fun things. That's boosting the bowl too. Entertainment's really important. Boosting the bowl can also mean changing how we're feeding or what we're feeding in. So we could give them in a stainless steel bowl every day, or we could try a lick mat one day, or a topple the next day, or a stuffer mat if we're doing just dry food and no like liquids, because that'd probably get kind of gross. But using a stuffer mat the next day, adding enrichment, entertainment, and enrichment to the meal time is also a really great way to boost the bowl. Licking releases endorphins in the brain, which are happy hormones. So if they have a lick mat and they're engaged and licking and searching out the food, that engages the brain in a really great way and helps to boost their mood and keep them entertained. I sometimes will hide like treats or little snacks around the house, or like little pieces of dried sardine around the house, and then it's kind of a game to hunt and find and sniff out the food. So that's another great way to bring mealtime into some more fun territory than just setting a bowl down on the ground. But yeah, those are some of the ways that I boost the bowl. Like Bailey said, she adds in lots of fruits and veggies for her puppers. I know she does use some lick mats, which is awesome. But yeah, so those are some really great ways to boost the bowl. Again, if I missed anything, let me know. There are probably too many ways to boost the bowl that I'd be able to count right now. We can also, because I guess I'm thinking right now as I look over at the Open Farm station, freeze dried is another raw alternative option we can use to top the food. Freeze dried is what it is, a freeze dried raw. We can add that as like a crumble on top. Adding it to moisture is a really great way to serve it, as the freeze drying process sucks out quite a bit of the moisture out of the kibble, so we're getting a very, very dry food that way. But adding it as like a sprinkle on top or moistening it, and then we've got kind of like a wet treat kind of thing added to the bowl, we can do that too. Freeze dried is an awesome option. Any bit of raw is better than no raw. Adding in something like that can be a great way to boost the bowl and give them a little bit of extra nutrients from a whole food source, even if thawing out a brick of raw meat or feeding gently cooked is a bit much or doesn't fit with your schedule. The freeze dried or even a dehydrated raw like the snack is an awesome way to add in those nutrients without having to worry about thawing something or keeping something in the fridge. My dog keeps throwing up. What can I do for an upset stomach? So an upset stomach, depending on what the issue is, upset stomachs can be from like digestive issues, which maybe we need to add a pre and probiotic in. Could be irritation. Maybe we want to add in some goat milk to kind of soothe the tummy. Maybe we're feeding a little bit too much or a little bit too little, or they're not getting enough food at the end of the day and they're going the whole night. And then that's when we get like morning time bile throwing up, where they wake up and they throw up like a yellowy, foamy kind of liquid. That's bile. That can sometimes be because they haven't had food for a very long time. So we can add in maybe a very late night snack of like goat milk or something small, just so they have something in their tummy before they go to bed to kind of avoid that morning time throw up. So those are options that we can add in. We can also think about pumpkin or anything. Hi! Distracted by puppies again. So yeah, hopefully those are some good options. Great ways to boost the bowl, especially if we're having issues like upset stomachs or we're noticing some other things. We can be adding those in as we go or changing things up. If I know that my kitties are having some stomach issues, I'll add in some extra fiber that maybe I wouldn't normally be adding to their diet, but it's still in the rotation, still in the regime of bowl boosting. It just can change from time to time. Stomach issues, maybe we're adding a bit more fiber, maybe we're noticing some seasonal allergies, so instead we're boosting those immunity foods like antioxidants or bovine colostrum or mushrooms. We could be adding those in rotation too. So don't think that you have to find something, stick to something, and then that's your boosted bowl forever and ever. Be a mad scientist. Change it up every week. I talk all the time about how picky my kitties are and how much they scream at me for variety. So give our pets the variety in the boosted toppings too, especially when it comes to like protein. Maybe we're feeding a venison kibble base. Let maybe add some beef freeze-dried or a salmon freeze-dried or something different. Mix and match the proteins, mix and match the toppings, do mad science stuff in the bowl. That'll make it entertaining for them, and I enjoy switching things up instead of scooping the same things over and over again into my pet's dish. I get to mix with things. I get to change things up and keep everything new and fun and different for them and for me, because I get bored easily too. So thank you for that. Good question. Thank you. You're welcome. So I don't see any more questions coming in, and I've gone over all of the ones that I can think of right now. I don't know if Bailey had any specific ones that she wanted to add in, and I think she's on her way, so we can probably pause for her. Did you
What
have?
are we talking about?
I've gone through kind of all of the ways to boost the bowl. We talked. Oh my goodness, I'm on every wrong page there possibly could be. We've talked about hydration, omegas and sardines, fruits and vegetables, mushrooms, raw. I talked about freeze-dried and dehydrated for those who maybe don't want to thaw something. We talked about pre and probiotics, antioxidants, rotating through the supplements. Was there anything specific that you do that you wanted to share?
So, I mean, I guess I can just do like an example.
Yeah, definitely.
For example, in the morning when all of my little savages are getting their breakfast, we do base as carnivore. We rotate through the proteins, so we haven't, I mean, the only one we haven't done is fish, and that's because the boys hate fish.
Picky little guys.
To each their own. So we do a base of carnivore. We top with the beef on his kitchen clusters, and then we also top with the primal butcher.
Oh yeah, the butcher's block.
Yep, toppers.
Toppers, yep.
Usually either in pork or beef, and then we do, sometimes if they're really lucky, if they've been like really, really good.
Which is all the time probably. They're angels.
Mm-hmm. I love them dearly, but they're not. They're not angels. If they've been really, really, really good, they get some stew.
Nice.
We do the open farm. We usually rotate between the beef, the chicken, and the turkey, so they get a little bit of stew in there. And then we will add, here comes all the supplements.
Let's go.
We add in the Adored Beast Jump for Joints. We do the Thrive Bladder Support. We do the 4-Leaf Rover Turkey Tail Mushrooms. We do the 4-Leaf Rover Red Rover, which is an antioxidant blend. We do, I think that's it for supplements. That's it for supplements. We usually add in a quail egg, and then we do either a beef or turkey bone broth as well. So they're getting all of the stuff and things, and then obviously breakfast time they get banana, strawberry, and blueberry. Dinner time is when they get their vegetables, because vegetables are good.
Yeah.
But that's just sort of what we do. We add so many different things, always different flavors.
Yeah.
All of the, they're not kibbles, all of the kibbles that we use are not all the same protein. We try and mix it up so that they are getting all these different flavors, all these different textures, everything in their bowls. Some of their food is crunchier than the other, some of it's softer than the other, so they're really just getting, they're just getting all of the things.
All of everything, which is awesome. Because
Yeah.
I had said, rotate through. We got a different base and a different topper, different proteins. We've got different broths, different stews, all these different things mixed up. Like I said, we're mad scientists.
We
So
really are.
we just put stuff in the bowl and hope our pets like it. Sometimes my cats will be like, no. And I'll have to pick something out of their food. But
Tucker and Sam will eat pretty much anything I put in their bowl. It's Ace that's the problem child.
Ace is kind of a drama king, though.
Ace is our little Yorkie. I call him little, but he looks like a bodybuilder
He
compared
does.
to Zane.
He does.
He looks like he hits the gym on a
All
regular
around.
basis.
Anytime there's a picture of Ace, he's sitting there like this, like he's got his like, like he's in his like showing off his muscle stance.
Right? He's
It's
like
very,
going
very-
to a competition.
I know. And then there's Zane, and he's always like so cute, and he's always so handsome. Definitely doesn't hit the gym, and although he does do his water,
He does.
water.
He hits the
there-
gym.
Yeah, he does.
He
Probably
hits the
more
gym.
than Ace.
Probably more than Ace.
Some people just have the genetics for it. Okay.
Ace is our problem child, though. He is constantly picking things out of his bowl and spinning it onto the floor. But then my carburetors come and clean up after him. So it's okay. It's all good.
So I hope we had give you guys some good inspiration for what you can add to your bowl. Again, in the workbook, there's a spot to put some of the ideas. There's a little bowl template. Again, you don't have to have the same bowl every day for the rest of their life. Switch things up. I have a repertoire of supplements in my cat fridge because I have a mini fridge just for my cats. And in their fridge, they've got a list of supplements all in there that I get to just choose day to day which one's gonna be in their meal today. So yeah, adding in things, making up your bowl. Be a mad scientist. Maybe your pet likes something that we didn't say that you always add in. Let us know. Totally add those things in.
Yeah, if there's something that you give your dogs that we did not mention, feel free to drop that in the comments. We would love to hear.
Yes.
I love getting more ideas of things that I can throw into the bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And I will show these again if anyone wants to take a little screenshot or anything of them, because they are super cool. I know they're backwards. I apologize. Here you go, Facebook. I did not forget you.
But we are located in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. So if you are in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, come by, grab yourself a magnet, and we will totally give you tons of magnets. We got lots for you.
Even if you are not,
yep,
we do ship Canada wide, and if it is your first order, we will throw these in.
Or leave us a note in the note section and be like, can I get those magnets? And we'll make sure that we toss them in so you remind us. Because we're chaotic. Bailey and I don't remember everything ever.
No.
So keep reminding us of these things.
And if you're outside of Canada and you're just like, oh my gosh, I really want those magnets, what the heck? Feel free to message us on social media, and we can always take a picture of them and send them to you just so that you have that information. If it's something that like you're really revved up about the magnets and you really want to have that information, we can totally send you pictures. Feel free to just reach out to us. We don't mind.
Yeah.
We like sending people stuff and things.
Yeah, we really do. It's very exciting. I mean, I take a trip to Canada Post, I think, like almost every day, and they all know me now. And that's
your
awesome.
favorite place in the world.
Favorite place. Regina, if you're listening, add a Canada Post over here
in the East End. We have a Shoppers Drug Mart. Where's the Canada Post?
There's a Canada Post in every Shoppers Drug Mart, okay? I'm sure everybody who is in Canada knows a superstore that Shoppers Drug Mart has a Canada Post. I don't understand.
Opinions on Victor dog food. I have never heard of that before.
I've also never heard of Victor's dog food. I've not heard of it. We always say our default is always go to what grade is my kibble on our website, looking into some of those key components of a good grade A pet food, which is meat is the first ingredient. Veggies are before the salt. There's natural preservatives, nothing harmful. There's no added color, and we have a high protein, low carb food. Typically, we want to see carbs below 39% of the entire bag. Lots of commercial pet foods end up being 60 to 70% of the whole bag.
That's a lot of carbs.
It's a lot of carbs. That's a lot of sugar. It's a lot of unnecessary things that your pet does not need. So making sure that we're feeding a grade A kibble means checking these things out. Again, we don't want to see words like animal or byproduct or just meat. We need a label. We need to know what it is, where it came from. We need to know that it's chicken or chicken bones or lamb meat. Don't want any of these scary mystery meat terms, which could be dead, diseased, dying, or disabled animals, could be leftover scraps from the human food industry, could be leftover pastries from the human food industry. Anything that we don't deem good enough for us to eat, we feed to our pets. That's not how it should be. We should be feeding our pets the same quality that we would eat. We should be giving to them.
Yeah, when we look at food, if it says that it is a human grade and minimally processed, stuff like that is awesome. Extra bonus points if you can read everything on the back of the bag and know exactly what it is. That's one of the reasons that we love Smack so much, is because there is nothing on the back of that bag that we're like, what is that?
Yeah.
So finding food that is human grade, is minimally processed, you can understand what's on the back of that bag, and isn't packed full of carbs.
Yeah. Exactly. The follow-up to that was, I want to feed fully raw so bad, but I can't afford it. There are, I know in Canada, in our store, we have more affordable options, more affordable proteins. In our raw, basically everything is protein-based pricing, because chicken is going to be a lot cheaper to produce than kangaroo or rabbit or bison. Those are going to be way more expensive proteins. So if we can stick with the cheaper proteins like beef and chicken and pork and turkey, those tend to be the cheaper protein options.
Even, like we've said so many times, any bit of raw is better than no raw. Even if we are just feeding a small portion of raw, and the majority of the rest of our food is a kibble or a freeze-dried or whatever, that little bit of raw is going to be better than having no raw in the diet. It's never going to be an all or nothing. We have to fully feed raw, or we don't feed raw at all. we can totally do just a little bit of raw.
Yeah,
Whatever.
definitely.
I always say whatever works for everyone's budget. Everyone has a budget in mind of what they want to stick to, and we can always make that work. We can always find something that's going to work for a budget, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. 20% of the diet, like we said, can be those things. If we're feeding a full and complete balanced raw, we can do as much as we want because it's complete and balanced. But yeah, the follow-up question to that was, how do I tell how many carbs?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question.
That's in What Grade is My Kibble? On the PDF or in the workbook, it walks you through how to calculate how many carbs are in a pet food. Most kibbles do not tell you how many carbs are in it most of the time. First of all, because they don't have to. It's not a legal requirement for their labeling, and also because why would we want to tell why would they?
I was gonna say, it's not us.
It's not me. I don't make pet food. Why would they want to tell us that their food is 70% carbs? That doesn't look good on the outside of the bag. We did this 2 days ago, Wednesday. Oh my goodness, my brain. We did this 2 days ago. We went through how to grade my kibble. That's on YouTube right now. You can also get the PDF of the workbook or of What Grade is My Kibble on our website. Short answer, as I ramble, is we take the protein, we add how much protein it says, we add how much fat, we add how much moisture, and we add 8% for ash. Ash is the mineral content. Typically it's around 8 to 10%, so we just add it in there for you because bags also won't state that. But then we add all of those things up, we get a total, we take that total out of 100, and that's how many carbs we have in the bag. So I did the open firm white fish, which had 30% protein, 40% fat, 14% fat, 10% moisture, and 8% ash. Added together is 62% of the total bag, minus 100 means 38% of that bag is carbs, which is a lot better than the typical 70% of bags. Carbs is sugar, sugar feeds disease. Our pets don't have a need for carbs, so if we can have as little carbs as possible, of course we need some starch to make that kibble a kibble, so we need some starch in there, so we can't get away from it unless we're feeding like a raw. But having under 39% is what would comprise a grade A kibble. We'll have under 39% carbs. So hopefully that was helpful. I gotta thank you, so I'm hoping that means that was helpful.
It's cool to be able to go and sort of look it up and be like, oh.
There was just a DeWalt truck
I
went
know,
by.
I thought it was stopping, but it didn't.
DeWalt. I just used my DeWalt drill to make some fun stuff for a summer sidewalk fair. That's off topic.
Lee's going through her construction phase.
Yeah, going through my construction dad phase. So yeah, doing all the construction stuff. I've been at Rona like 3 times in the last 2 days.
Did you get the t-shirt?
I didn't get the t-shirt because
Lee.
my partner keeps saying you don't need a t-shirt that says DeWalt on it, but I don't know about that.
So if you want to make a homemade diet, that's fantastic. There are supplements out there that you can buy that are the full vitamin and mineral pack that you would need to make sure that they're still getting everything. And that is sometimes much more cost effective.
Yes, especially if you go to like a local butcher and you're able to get large quantities of locally sourced meat. That can be so much cheaper than going to your grocery store and having to sift through the human food packages.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, in store we carry the Thrive
Fortify and the Omega Alpha Nutrify.
Yep.
They're way too close in words and I always swap them.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Those are both great options to get that full vitamin and mineral pack into your homemade raw. That way we know that we're not missing out on anything. They're getting everything that we need, but we can make them a homemade diet. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't let your vet tell you that you shouldn't be making a homemade diet. As long as you're getting those vitamins and minerals in there, you are doing a fantastic job, and homemade diets are awesome.
Yeah, I'd say many vets' reservations is that because nobody is testing that food for that nutrient content, it's very detrimental to our pets if they're not getting the right amount of nutrients or enough nutrients. That's going to be very devastating for their health. So we need to make sure we're giving them everything they need And a homemade diet can be complicated and difficult, especially if we're trying to do it like measure out how many bones do we need, and we need heart and liver and spleen and lung and this and this and this plus muscle meat. That's like insane. That's why there are
That's not a job I'm cut out for.
no, not at all. You guys, if you saw me on Wednesday trying to do mental math of the thing in my head, oh boy. So that's why they have specific people who formulate the commercial raws that we have. They have people who formulate them, they test them. So if we're feeding a commercial raw, we need to make sure that that company is giving a balanced diet. And if we're making something homemade, we just need to make sure we're doing the due diligence, that we're using something like a Nutrify or a Fortify at the appropriate amount. Sometimes it's by pet weight. The Thrive one is by pet weight, and the Nutrify
is by weight of the meat.
Is by the pounds of how much meat you're making up.
So you really could make up like a large batch of your homemade food, and then the Nutrify is just going there based on the weight of the meat, and then you can just freeze it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. If you have the ability and the time and the energy to figure that out, that is usually the most cost-effective way to do pet food. But
for sure,
cost-effective by wallet, time, and energy is also a cost we don't typically take into consideration. So it can be costly in that sense. But if you like to do that, like, all to you.
Can you list some more affordable commercial raw diets?
I would say we've got Bold by Nature and Big Country Raw and Artisan are probably the three like large dog or bulk options available. We do have Primal, but it comes in 3-pound bags and little nuggets.
So my first question would be, how much does the pup weigh?
Yeah.
That's a super important question when we're trying to consider what would be an affordable commercial raw. Because it's going to sort of depend on how big the pup is. So if you want to pop in the comments a weight, just so that we sort of have an idea of what we're working with here. But Bold by Nature and Big Country Raw offer 24-pound boxes of food.
Yep. Again, if we sit in the chicken, beef, turkey boat as opposed to the rabbit, bison, quail boat, we'll get a cheaper product.
Yep. And then we do have a new brand called Artisan. They are based out of Alberta, so it is a Canadian company. They're actually all Canadian companies, which is pretty awesome. But Artisan has a 48-pound box, which is super cool. They come in 2-pound bricks. So if we have a bigger pup,
just doing the line here. I can grab whatever you're looking for.
Let's see. She will be big, probably around 110 pounds, fully grown. She's only a puppy right now. Okay. So.
Minimum.
Oh, no.
Up,
that is a big pup. So you're right. Raw for a dog that size can get pretty pricey. The nice thing about the Artisan with the 48-pound boxes is that it's 48 pounds of food. They come in a 2-pound brick, so it's super easy when we have a bigger dog to measure out those meal portions. But again, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You could be buying a 24-pound box of food and splitting a patty between 2 meals, and then that's going to last you 24 days. So you're getting almost a month's worth of raw that we're just adding into our regular diet. Or like we said before, you totally can be making your own. The cool thing about raw is if we are feeding it in conjunction with something that is already fully balanced. So if we're feeding it in conjunction with a kibble or something like that, adding in those vitamins and minerals aren't going to be as high on the list of things we need to do. If we're adding it into our kibble, I would say you could probably get away with not adding in the vitamins and minerals, right, Lee? If we're adding it into a kibble, we're adding it into already a fully balanced meal. We're using that homemade raw sort of just as a topper.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't make up more than 20%.
Yep.
20% can be unbalanced. If we're feeding 20% as just a homemade raw without balancing, we can totally do that.
Yeah, because pup's going to be about 110 pounds. So
Oh, boy.
that could
Big
be
guy.
quite pricey.
Yeah.
I think Artisan would probably be one of the best bets because we got that 48-pound box. And we really could be sort of cutting that in half and using it in conjunction with what we're already feeding.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Raw the big barrier that people have with raw is that it can be pretty pricey. It can be a little bit much when we're looking long term of how much it's going to cost to feed our pets, especially if we're wanting then to give them treats and bones and supplements and this and that and all the other things. So if we want to keep it in more of a cost-effective spot, I would say just supplementing some of that meal with raw is still going to give you awesome benefits.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Not all or nothing. That's the whole point of today's Boosted Bowl segment class. It's all about not all or nothing. Keep things fresh, keep things fun. I cannot wait any longer. I've been holding on to the final exam. Waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm very excited. I hope everyone else is excited. I am going to go through the questions with you and then the answers as well at the end. So spoilers will be after I read the questions. So be prepared. You can noodle along with us. You can stop the video now or head off for a few minutes and then come back because there's going to be spoilers. The exam has the answer key at the back as well.
And if you want to answer the questions as Lee's reading them in the comments, feel free to drop your answers in the comment section while Lee is reading the questions. We will read it. We will give you a minute to comment if you want to comment. This could be super fun. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah! See? Final exam. Best idea ever. Okay. Question 1 is a multiple choice question. Common tricks of the bag are ingredient splitting, ingredient swapping, hidden chicken, or all of the above. We talked about this.
I'm going to stand over here and read the comments.
We talked about this on day 2, I believe. We talked all about the tricks of the bag and what to look for. The answer is D, all of the above. So ingredient splitting is when we take a single ingredient like corn, not we. When they take a single ingredient like corn and split it into multiple types of corn so that it sits further down on the bag, that's ingredient splitting. Ingredient swapping is when we're trying to make a new recipe, like large breed, small breed. We take ingredients that are they take ingredients that are the same percentage and jumble them around to make the bag look different.
Lee secretly works for commercial Kibble. Harley, I hope that you're listening, and I hope that you know that Lee is fired.
Okay, I will get this eventually. I'll stop inserting myself into all my sentences. And then hidden chicken is when they add chicken in as like a preservative and it's further down on the bag. It doesn't say it contains chicken on the outside or on the marketing, but there is chicken in it. So all of the above. Question 2. What percentage of your pet's food can be fresh? 100%, 20%, 1%, or 50%?
We've said this a couple times today.
It's like how many times we said inform on day 1.
I feel like that should be one of the questions. How many times throughout this week have we said the word informed?
That's a bonus. If you can tell us how many times, that's a bonus point. You automatically get 100%. But the answer is B, 20%. 20% of the diet can be whole, fresh foods like the boosted things that we've been talking about today. What is the grain-free debate really about? Grain-free foods, grain-inclusive foods, fruits and vegetables, or quality of the protein? We talked about this also on day 2, all about what the heck am I looking at when I see grain-free, grain-inclusive on the outside of a bag? What am I supposed to be thinking when I see something like that? The answer is D, quality of the protein. the grains in the bag isn't our concern. They don't give any essential nutrients that would help the heart or detriment the heart. So whether or not we have grains in isn't the issue. What we're talking about is quality protein and quality food. That's what we want to be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
What is legally allowed in pet food? Animal organs, diseased animals, leftover meat from the supermarkets, or all of the above? Talked about this today.
I was going to say, we also talked about this today.
I was supposed to talk about this on Wednesday, and then I was looking over the quiz and was like, oh, interesting.
All of the above.
Manda Bear, welcome.
Ding, ding, ding.
Good job, Manda Bear. All of the above. And Chloe says all of the above. All of the above. Unfortunately, terribly so, the animal pet food industry doesn't have the same rigorous regulations. It's pet feed. It is the feed for our pets and not food. So unfortunately, some terrible things are able to be put in there. We talked about BHA, BHT, and ethoxyquin and how those are poisons, but they're used to preserve pet food because they're just our pets. Whatever, they'll eat whatever. So unfortunately, it is all of the above.
We're just not going to see the same standards that we would with our food.
Yeah.
Unless we are looking at a food that is human grade or is
really transparent. Tells you,
Yep.
like Open Farm is the only kibble that we have in store, and they have a lot number on the back of every single one of their bags. They tell you exactly where that protein came from. They tell you how much is in the bag. You can ask them questions. They have a contact us page. You can ask us a question and we'll reach out to our rep. They're very transparent and they'll answer all of these questions that you have, and that's really important to be informed. The word of the week, informed.
I think the answer to that question is 926 times that we have said the word informed.
Yes. Yes. You passed.
900 of those were on Monday.
Now we're on to the true and false questions. So, true or false? My small dog requires a small breed food. So we talked about this on day 2 when we were talking about the different choices that we see at the supermarket, the different marketing tactics on the outside of the bag. We have Chloe says
false.
That's true. False, that's true.
That is correct.
That is correct. False is correct. Small breed tends to just be a smaller kibble size and tends to happen when we do the trick of the bag, ingredient swapping. When to make a large breed and a small breed food, all you have to do is jumble up the ingredients a little bit, and there you are. A brand new formula, even though it hasn't really changed. So, good job, Chloe. You got that right. True or false, I cannot mix brands or proteins. So that was kind of a yesterday and today question. And an everyday question, really. We talk about this all the time. We talk about it all the time in store. We talk about it all the time on lives. Chloe says false again. That is correct. It is false. We can totally mix brands. Bailey does it all the time. I do it all the time. Mixing proteins, mixing brands. Again, like we said yesterday, what happens if in the terrible instance that your brand pulls the plug, they go bankrupt, or they have to recall everything, or they just decide, I don't want to make pet food anymore.
Or there's just some sort of like freak act of nature.
What if the trains can't get across Canada again and they get stuck in BC like last time? Was it 3 years ago?
What if we have like a Canada-wide power outage and no one has power for weeks?
You are really doomsdaying this. Bailey has dropped the major doomsday ball.
Listen, Carly told me I needed to start researching different things other than bugs. So I'm trying to widen my horizons here. So I'm now just thinking of worst case scenarios of things that could happen.
No. Okay, well, so that was the answer to that question. Number 7 is true or false. My bag of kibble will stay fresh for 28 days after opening.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I think that you guys talked about that on day 1.
Sure.
I think so.
Yes, I think we did. I think you're correct.
Yes, and this is specifically when we're talking about kibble. Freshness dates of things vary. And Chloe says,
I
true,
think.
I think. Yes, you are right. You didn't just think, you knew that it is true. Once we open that bag of kibble, we have 28 days for optimal freshness. Kibble is preserved with fat. Fat oxidizes and interacts with light. So once we open that bag, we interact with it with oxygen and sunlight. it starts to
essentially rot.
After that 28 days. We don't have an optimally fresh product anymore. That 28-day mark is kind of when things start to drastically go downhill. So if we can use a bag in 28 days, that's optimal.
Now, at day 28, we don't have to go throw that food in the garbage and be like, this is rotten, we can't use this anymore. If we're at day 29, we're still going to be okay. No one's going to be hurt. But that 28 days is that optimal freshness. It sounds like I'm just like, there's no person. It's just voiceover.
It's the narration. We're getting a good narration.
But we don't need to throw that bag out at 28 days. If you still have like 2 days left of food, you can definitely still use it. You're just past that prime usage time.
Window. Yeah. It's like the best before dates on the stuff in my fridge. Should I be eating that butter after it's been in there for that long? Maybe. I do. I try.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you I'm a real stickler about best before.
Oh, are you?
Day that it is bad, it goes in the garbage. So, of course, I'm the one saying, don't throw out your food, but I throw everything out on the day that it's not good
could be bad.
Question
8 is, true or false, my cat can eat dog food for their lifetime. Did we talk about this yesterday? In transition? Yes, I think so. And in choices, we talked about it as well. We were talking about the different choices. Because, cat and dog food is marketed differently. There's a bag of cat food from the same brand, but there's a bag of dog food. Is that just marketing mumbo jumbo, or do cats need cat food and dogs need dog food? I'm waiting for Chloe because she's getting 100%.
I've got my binoculars on.
You got your binoculars on?
I don't see any answers.
Well, the answer is it's a double negative, and I don't like double negatives. It's false.
Double negative. I'm stuck. Apparently, so was Lee. So don't worry.
Why did I make a question with so many negatives in it? Anyway, it's false. A cat cannot eat dog food for its lifetime. We talked about amino acids. We talked that there's 22 amino acids that our cats and dogs need. Our dogs make 11 and our cats make 10. So cats are one of the mammals who can't produce taurine. Dogs and humans produce taurine, which is that important heart amino acid. And so if we're feeding our cat dog food, there's no minimum requirement for taurine in that bag. So our cat will likely be deficient in taurine over a long period of time. If our dog and our cat, if we have a dual pet household and our cat gets into the dog food or our dog gets into the cat food, that's not going to be a big deal. That's okay. But we need to make sure that we're feeding throughout the lifetime the appropriate food for the appropriate species so they're getting the right amount of nutrients. Like we were talking about with the homemade raw, we need to make sure that those nutrients are correct for whoever we're feeding.
Ace used to eat Mitzi's food on the regular.
Well, Ace is a tough guy.
But I think he thinks he's a cat.
Oh, well, cat's pretty tough. And then number 9, I don't have an answer sheet for because it's a long answer question. Number 9 is reflect on your pet's current food and the positive change you want for your pet's diet. So the last question is just kind of like a journaling exercise, a place for you to think about, what am I feeding right now? What have I learned throughout the course? And is there anything I'm doing awesome? Is there anything that I could improve on? Just a nice spot for you to kind of take everything that we've learned throughout the past 5 days and write it down, put it to practice, see what we can do. Maybe you're like the other commenter who's really, the goal is raw food, but it's just not the option right now. Maybe that improvement is just adding a little bit every once in a while, or giving it as a treat, or maybe that's in the topple. Maybe your goal is to go from a B kibble to an A kibble, and you're hoping to improve that. Maybe you didn't know you could rotate through brands, and your new goal is to find a new brand that you can add into the rotation. So it's kind of just a place for you to do your own journaling, figure out your own things, and yeah, it's a journey. It took me a long time to transition my kitties over to their new food, and there's steps. You can make yourself a nice little attainable goal list for your pet.
I think secretly what everyone's going to write in their journal is that they love watching us live. I look forward every week to seeing Bailey and Lee on the live. I
Yeah.
know it. It's
I
all
know
good.
it. Yeah. I mean, every time I'm on here and Bailey isn't, I get "Where's your partner in crime?" and everybody's waiting for Bailey to be on the live because she is the superstar of the Furry Fridays. You've been with me for most of them. Well, you were here Monday. You were here for 3 of the 5.
I was here for 3 of the 5.
I was here for 4 of the 5. Nicole is here for 1 of the 5. Olivia was kind of here for 1 of the 5. She popped in and then she had to go do the order because it's chaotic here sometimes.
It's been chaotic here literally all week.
It really has.
It's
But
been a
that's good. I can't complain. It's awesome when it's chaotic and there's
Yep.
tons of people and tons of dogs and all the things we're doing, especially our lives. I like interacting with everybody, getting to answer questions, collaborating, doing quizzes. Oh my gosh, I'm doing that every time now.
I was gonna say, is there gonna be a quiz every Friday now? You're just
Yes.
gonna like come up with true or false questions at the end of the live.
Yes, I am very excited for this. I don't have, I think, a Hop University planned yet. So if anybody has a topic or something that they think would make a really good Hop University class or something that you really want to learn, but it's going to take more than just a half an
Friday?
hour Furry Friday and you think it justifies a longer course.
Half an hour? What?
Okay,
when
when-
have we ever done a live that's only half an hour? When
Yeah,
it's the
I
two
think
of
this
us?
one is going on the hour and a half mark because you and I are together and
That
we can't.
sounds on brand.
Yeah, we can't stop talking. We
No. We
ramble.
squirrel.
We squirrel. Like right now, as we're squirreling. But yes, you can definitely leave us a message on Instagram or on our Hop U Instagram post. You can leave a comment on what would make a great Hop University or what you want to see in the next Hop University, which would be Hop number 4. So check out our YouTube channel. There's a playlist with the other 3 in it, and this last video will be uploaded there as well. So you can totally check that out. But yeah, we want to.
I so enjoy the lives and learn so much.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. We love hearing stuff like that. We love hearing that
Yeah.
we are helping pet parents. That's honestly what we're here for. That is our goal, to help pet parents make informed decisions about
And,
what they're giving their pet.
That delivery truck, is it for us? I think it is.
Don't even look at it.
I'm sorry, I think that's our delivery truck. More chaos. But we got, the follow-up is, what was that brand that you said had 40-pound boxes? So Artisan Raw
48-pound
is 48-pound boxes. I'm going to go grab the pamphlet just to show what it looks like.
Artisan is awesome. I would consider it more of like a handmade raw than a
Oh, I just
traditional-
realized it's going to be backwards. Oh,
That's okay. I hope
so
that
sorry.
you can
I'm
read
trying
that.
so hard. But this is the Artisan Raw. This is what the brand kind of looks like. So if you're interested in those 48-pound boxes, they have a few of their
They are based,
formulas.
They are based out of Alberta.
Yeah.
You can order directly from them.
I don't know the answer to that question right now. You can definitely check out their website and see, but we also do, unfortunately we can't ship raw across Canada, but we do, if you're in Regina, we've got it in stock, so we can do local delivery, pickup, or you can get it in store. So, yeah.
And if you have any more questions or anything, if you want to pick our brains on raw food, feel free to send us a message on social media. Or give us a call. We'd be happy to go over some of the different options, some of the different things you can do. We love raw food.
Yeah.
Raw food is awesome.
Yeah, my kitties get raw food every day, and so if you want to talk to me about raw food and cats, I don't get a lot of cat calls, but yeah, if you want to come in and chat about cats, I'm always here.
I'm in the U.S. Well,
And
I'm
I
sure
don't-
that we could do some investigating.
Yeah.
And see sort of what your options would be in the States. We'll see if there's anything similar to that.
So I think
And-
Artisan is only available
in Canada.
Yeah.
But we're just like talking in unison.
It's because we're connected.
We've spent too much time together doing the lives. We can definitely do some research for you. If you want to shoot us a message on Facebook or Instagram, we can do some digging.
Yeah,
I think we can try and find something for you that might work.
Yeah.
We're here to help.
All right. Well, thank you guys for spending the week with us and tuning in for this 5-day course. we will stop rambling now and
will.
we will end the live, especially with, I think it's a palette coming. Oh my gosh, we're already off topic. We will have this uploaded to YouTube so you can continue watching. If you missed anything, we are open until 6 tonight. We are open tomorrow, 11 to 6, and we are open on Sundays for the next 3 months, 12 to 4 as well. So you can always give us a visit. Thank you for the live. Enjoyed it. Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in and spending some of your Friday with us, even though it's super chaotic here and we're always running away on tangents.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to us ramble.
Thank you for listening to us ramble. We had an awesome time. We hope you guys did too. So we will see you next week at the next Furry Friday.
Yeah. Have a good weekend,
Have a good
everyone.
one, guys. See ya.